Hello, everybody, and welcome to ReelTok episode 63. Today, we have a very special episode, a Harry Potter special episode. We're going to be talking all things Hogwarts and the wizarding world of Harry Potter. Feel like it's long overdue. We were hoping Seth was going to be able to make it for this one, but he's feeling under the weather today, so it's just going to be us three, Tyler, Cam, and George, going over Harry Potter. So we got a ton of fun stuff we're going to be doing today. We're going to start off by finding out which Harry Potter house we're all going to be in. Got a quiz for you two to take, and we're going to determine which... Oh, well, who is that?
Dude, what?
Voldemort?
I'm all out for this one.
Oh, my God.
Hold on. Are you wearing a bald cap?
What?
Is that a bald cap?
No, I shaved my head for this.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah. Is that like a legit bald cap, or is that just like a...
Yeah, no, it's legit bald cap.
What?
Do you have a wand?
No, I didn't bring a wand.
Oh, go outside and go get a stick from outside.
To die.
All right, walk us through it. What's the face makeup situation? Is that just like white powder and then like mascara or something?
I honestly don't know. Emma, what's the makeup situation? She said she found white primer.
White primer.
White primer and then a little powder stuff and then some sort of mascara around the eye. And Bailey is not happy about it today.
I mean, I would be scared too if I were your son.
Yeah, you're looking mad terrifying. So we got Tom Riddle joining the pod today. Then it's me and George, but we're missing Seth today. Today on the episode, we're going to be finding out which Harry Potter house we're all from. We got a quiz for each of you to take. I already took it just to make sure, it was like a solid quiz, but it should go smoothly. My house is Slytherin, spoiler alert, so I'm Slytherin, I guess.
Piece of shit.
From Universal, I have Slytherin and Gryffindor like scarves, but couldn't find them. I was like searching my closet this morning. I was like, whatever, I guess the show must go on. We're going to rank the Harry Potter franchise, of course, from worst to best, our favorite movies. We're going to draft Harry Potter characters. So the best Harry Potter characters will go. There's only three of us. We might go like 6 or 7 rounds, go a little deeper just to get some like sleeper picks maybe. And then do like some quick Fantasitc Beasts chit chat, see if that's worth anything. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the reboot, what we want to see, what we wish they would change, any casting ideas, just kind of talking the reboot since, that is coming eventually. I don't know, sometime in the near future, we're going to get a full reboot of the Harry Potter universe. So with that being said, let's jump right into this thing. So first off, we're going to do sorting you two into Harry Potter houses. We gotta figure out where you two are going to fit. So first we're going to go for Cam because he's, basically Tom Riddle and Slytherin, but I'm going to share my screen so you can like follow along the quiz with me.
I binged every Harry Potter this week.
Yeah, you grinded this week,
in 5
dude.
days, you watched every Harry Potter.
I've been into each one. I thought we were all doing it. You guys are killing me.
I rewatched it like a month ago. I wasn't going to do it again.
Yeah, I rewatched it like 3 times in the past like 14 months. Like the entire series. All right, Cameron, let's do this thing. So, forest or river? Like, what do you prefer?
River.
Real.
And these questions, like I've done this a couple times, George. These questions are all different, so yours will be different too. So it'll be interesting. One of your housemates has cheated in a Hogwarts exam by using a self-spelling quill. Now he has come to the top of the class in charms, beating you into second place. Professor Flitwick is suspicious of what happened. He draws you to the side after his lesson and asks whether or not your classmate used a forbidden quill. What do you do? Lie and say you didn't know, but hope that somebody else tells Professor Flitwick the truth? Tell Professor Flitwick that he ought to ask your classmate and resolve to tell your classmate that if he doesn't tell the truth, you will? Tell Professor Flitwick the truth. If your classmate is prepared to win by cheating, he deserves to be found out. Also, as you are both in the same house, any points he loses will be regained by you for coming first in his place. You would not wait to be asked to tell Professor Flitwick the truth. If you knew that somebody was using a forbidden quill, you'd tell the teacher before the exam started.
The first one, Tom Riddle ain't no snitch.
Ain't no snitch. A troll has gone berserk in the headmaster's study at Hogwarts. It is about to smash, crush, and tear several irreplaceable items and treasures. In which order would you rescue these objects from the troll's club if you could? First, a nearly perfected cure for dragonpox, the student records going back 1,000 years. Finally, a mysterious handwritten book full of strange runes. First, student records going back 1,000 years, then a mysterious handbook full of strange runes. Finally, a nearly perfected cure for dragonpox. First, the strange runes, then the dragonpox cure, then the student records. First, the dragonpox cure, then the handwritten book full of strange runes, and then student records going back 100 years. Student records go back 100 years, then the cure, then the handbook of strange runes. Lastly, runes, then records, then cure.
A damn tongue twister.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. So just
basically, what do you value most?
Yeah, let me look at my 3 options. So I got the
Yeah.
dragonpox cure, handwritten book, student records. Probably give the least shit about the student records. I'd go a perfected cure for. I kind of like this one. I keep it on, and it's probably biased because I'm reading this one. But dragonpox, mysterious book, student records going back 1,000 years.
Okay, this one's interesting. I don't really know what that favors.
Yeah, I don't know.
What are you most looking forward to learning at Hogwarts? Apparition and disapparition, which is being able to materialize and dematerialize at will. Transfiguration, being able to turn one object into another. Flying on a broomstick. Hexes and jinxes. All about magical creatures and how to befriend or care for them. Secrets about the castle. Every area of magic I can.
I would say I feel like the creatures are more me, that or flying on the broomstick. But we'll go with creatures, befriending them.
Creatures. Yeah, got to tame all the animals.
Yeah.
If you were attending Hogwarts, which pet would you take with you?
Ooh.
Tabby cat, Siamese cat, ginger cat, black cat, white cat, owl, or tawny owl, screech owl, brown owl.
Bunch of different owls.
Yeah, owls, cats, owls, or toads.
Toad. Yeah.
So I guess narrow it down from there, and then we'll choose between.
So it'd be a cat or owl. Get the toad out of here. So I have a black cat and I have a white cat.
Ooh, gotta choose.
Honey, what a cat is Harlow again? Oh yeah, we don't have that. That's not an option. Let's go with the black cat. Get a little spooky with it in the wizarding world.
Mm-hmm. What kind of instrument most pleases your ear? Violin, trumpet, piano, or drums?
None of these.
Bro hates music.
The piano is probably the best.
The piano.
Maybe the drum, but we'll go.
I think there's like 2 more questions. Given the choice, would you rather invent a potion that would guarantee you love, glory, wisdom, or power?
I mean, come on.
I know what the answer wants me to pick.
Yeah.
What would you actually rather have?
Money's not an option, unfortunately. I feel like glory is the close to that, so we'll go with glory. Glory right now.
You're a respectable man.
Left or right?
Right. Yeah.
Bro's a Hufflepuff.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
Bro is soft.
Hidden in plain sight, Tom Riddle is now a Hufflepuff. So I'm a Slytherin, Cam's Hufflepuff. If George gets either Gryffindor or Ravenclaw, then we'll just put Seth in whatever that other.
I mean, I gotta be Gryffindor. There's no way I'm not, you know. I just got that.
All right. So we got Hufflepuff for Cam. Dawn or dusk?
Oh, Dawn.
Bro's not Batman. Once every century, the flutterby bush produces flowers that adapt their scent to attract the unwary. If it lured you, it would smell like a crackling log fire, the sea, fresh parchment, home. So which smell would entice you the most?
Which smell would entice me the most?
Yeah.
Probably the crackling fire.
Yeah, nice.
I thought they were asking what I smelled like. I was like, I don't smell like any of those.
All right, same question as Cam had for the cheating one. If someone was cheating, would you lie and say you didn't know about it? You would?
I'm no snitch. I'm no snitch.
Sorry. What would you rather be? Envied, imitated, trusted, praised, liked, or feared?
Oh. Trusted's kind of calling my name. I'll go with trusted.
Okay, trusted.
I was gonna go with imitated, since imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, but I don't want no one imitating me.
Another same question. The pet one. Would you rather have a cat, a toad, or an owl?
I'll go with one of the owls.
Okay. So then for owls, would you want a tawny owl, a screech owl, a brown owl, a snowy owl, or a barn owl?
Don't know any owls. I'll go snowy owl.
Snowy. I'm pretty sure that's Harry's owl.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
The white
yeah.
one.
Yeah, that's definitely Harry's.
Yeah. What would you like to study the most? Centaurs, goblins, merpeople, ghosts, vampires, werewolves, or trolls?
Werewolves.
Werewolves. Yeah, that's probably the one sticking out for me.
Yeah, the
honestly.
dopest one.
You enter an enchanted garden. What would you be most curious to examine first? The silver-leafed bearing golden apples, silver-leaf tree bearing golden apples, the fat red toadstools that appear to be talking to each other, the bubbling pool in the depths of which something luminous is swirling,
That sounds creepy.
the statue of an old wizard with a strange twinkling eye.
I'll go with that one. That sounds like it has some mystery to it and history.
All right. Final question: black or white? How racist is George?
I mean, I wear black, blue, or gray, so we'll go with black.
Hey,
That's what's up.
Gryffindor!
That's what's up. See, I'm a good person. I'm an always happy, always cheery, just really good
It's
person.
literally the opposite of you.
That's it.
So we got Gryffindor for George.
That's what I'm
Ham's
saying.
a Hufflepuff, and I'm a Slytherin. So that means Mr. Seth's film reviews is a
It's a
Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw.
I don't know if Ravenclaw is like anything in the movies. Like, there's no one from fucking Ravenclaw.
Who's from
except the
Hufflepuff?
ghost.
Like, is that where like Luna Lovegood?
That's Luna Lovegood.
Luna, yeah, and then but I don't know anyone from Ravenclaw other than in the final movie they like
Shout
go
out
to,
Luna
like, one of
Lovegood.
the-
Oh yeah, they go
go
to
This is
like
her
Helena,
Helena Ravenclaw
yeah, like
For the-
her ghost or some
for
shit.
the diadem or
I
whatever.
need this to be known. I'm losing blood flow in my head. That's nice. That's nice.
Why don't you take it off?
Dude, take it off.
We're committed to this bit. That's why I was waiting for you guys to start.
You kind of just look more like Draco, honestly, because like it looks like it's slicked back blonde hair. Like his
I,
looks like-
I would have dressed like Dumbledore. I would have gotten a little beard or something.
yeah, I was gonna wear my freaking.
I literally
Oh.
have my Elder Wand somewhere in this house. I just don't know where.
I got my Snape wand and my Luna Lovegood wand.
The Luna one is dope.
someone should have dressed as Snape, gotten that luscious black hair going. That's straight hair.
Should have asked Adam Driver to be a guest on the pod.
Honestly, maybe we'll talk about him when we get to the casting section. But now that we know our houses, we're good to move on to the rest of the episode. Now that we've all got that sorted out.
Yeah.
So next up, also I guess I'll mention this in case anyone else. So at home, the quiz I took was from wizardmore.com. So if you want to find out what house you're in, go to wizardmore.com. The sorting hat. I googled sorting hat quiz, and it's the second answer. And yeah, let us know in the comments what you got for your house. We can kind of see where we all stack up. Now we're going to go through ranking the Harry Potter franchise from worst to best in terms of how much we enjoy it. So there are, and we'll just do the Harry Potters for this one. So that means there's 9 total movies because there's, eight total movies because there's 7. There's a part 1, part 2. I always forget I have the 20th anniversary thrown in my rankings on Letterboxd. But for the 8 movies from worst to best, we'll just go around the horn. So number 8, what's the last place for you guys? George, what's your last place Harry Potter movie?
All right.
And what's your rating?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. My last place Harry Potter movie is still a 4 out of 5. I love this franchise. It's my favorite franchise. So don't take this last place personally. If anyone listening, if this is like your favorites, I know one of the Raiders twins, this is his number 1. So I apologize. But I have Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone at number 8. Again, I love this movie. I think this movie does such a brilliant job at introducing us to the wizarding world. I think this is the one movie that just genuinely just feels magical. You know, it just feels just incredibly magical. You know, they're on the boats pulling up to Hogwarts. It's everything about this movie is just magical, and I love it. But it is in my 8th place.
Valid. I mean, something's got to be last place.
Something's got to be last
End of the
place.
day.
You go next,
Cameron.
Tyler. You go next.
Okay, me next. My last place is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets at a 3.5 out of 5. So really enjoy it. And my Harry Potter rankings move around all the time because it's no secret. Everyone says like, oh, it's one of the most consistent franchises of all time, and that's because it is true. So many of them for me are just neck and neck because I think they're all pretty good. So 3.5 out of 5 for me is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. And I think honestly, like the only reason might be because I've seen that one the most by like miles, because for some reason on like ABC Family growing up, like that was the one they were always always replaying that one. And then like second most would be like the first one, but it would always be the first two, maybe because like those are the most like kid-ish, so like that's like the easiest to replay. But so many times I had to just like sit there and watch that freaking snake in the underworld, and it spooked me every time.
I swear, every time I was homesick from school, it was either I was watching a game show or a Harry Potter movie, because that's all that was on TV at like 12 p.m.
Yeah, it's crazy how much play that got on cable television. But for me, last place is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, but that's no slight to it whatsoever. Cameron?
Yeah. So I was never like a Harry Potter hater, but I always argued they like never had the highs of most franchises. I fucking love this rewatch. I really enjoyed the rewatch. But my bottom, and it's a 3.5 out of 5. The only 3.5, 74 out of 100, I believe, 70 something like that out of 100. Is Chamber of Secrets as well. I guess 69 out of 100. So it's pretty, very cool, right? I enjoyed this one a whole lot. I just think so. The first one for me, and we'll talk about it, is a lot of great like introduction to this world. And whereas like the children acting isn't perfect by any means, and it gets better throughout the series, but I think this in Chamber of Secrets, you no longer have the benefit of being like the introduction to the world, where I give you that little like pass. And like when you see Hogwarts for the first time in the first one, it's like kind of takes you back a little bit. It's like really cool to see. And in this one, like I think the child acting is still not all there. I like the introduction of like Tom Riddle. You start getting a little bit more into the Voldemort lore, but I don't think it's as strong as the rest, but it's still goddamn good. Big fan. Also, I hate when like J.K. Rowling just makes someone's name like Tom. I forget what his middle name
Marvolo.
is. Marvolo Riddle, and I understand it's so that it spells out like Lord Voldemort, but I think that's fucking stupid whenever that kind of revelation comes, because it's like you just make his name whatever you wanted. But that's just, I understand.
You just wrote that.
Yeah, I understand. He's like, how can I take my name and make it spell something else? Like, but does Voldemort mean anything? Like, did he get lucky at childbirth? Like,
nope.
Why Voldemort? Just because he had the like letters? It would have been Voldemort if he was never had a T in his name. Like it just, in my opinion, but you know, it's all right.
7th place, George. What's your second to last?
My second to last is Chamber of Secrets, but I have it slightly higher than Sorcerer's Stone for that exact reason. Cam has it in last place. I like that we're getting into the Voldemort lore of things. I like that.
That's not why it's in last place. I enjoy that part. I just
I get it. But I like that. I like the mystery aspect of it. It just feels like the sense of urgency just feels a little higher, whereas in Sorcerer's Stone, it does feel like more of a children's movie, where in Chamber of Secrets, we're kind of diving into a little bit deeper stuff, not as deep as like we eventually get to with Prisoner of Azkaban and shit like that. But yeah, I like the Voldemort lore introduction. I like the final sequence with the snake. I like the entire Chamber of Secrets stuff. It's just very mysterious, very intriguing, and I don't know, I just find myself... These rankings for me are just mostly based on like which ones I kind of find myself rewatching the most, and I find myself rewatching Chamber of Secrets more often than Sorcerer's Stone.
Valid. Yeah, for me, the bottom two for me are Chamber of Secrets and Philosopher's Stone, which I like flip back and forth all the time. They're like neck and neck for me. But I give a slight edge to Philosopher's Stone, and I think that was a recent change. I think most often I had Chamber of Secrets a little higher, but Philosopher's Stone is just, or Sorcerer's Stone, or whatever you want to call it, is just like it's just so fun seeing the whole world. You see Hogwarts for the first time. You get to learn what Quidditch is. The ending does get a little dark too, you know, with Voldemort's face on the back of what is that? Professor Quirrell, is that his last name? Yeah. Quirrell's back of his head. You know, you get the iconic TikTok sound. That
Dude.
once I make my move.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. That sound has been so overdone.
Yeah, crazy.
It's awesome.
It is so annoying.
But yeah, Philosopher's Stone just awesome being introduced to that whole world. It's just crazy.
I will say, in Chamber of Secrets, fucking, and I've been on a rant about Dumbledore this week on Letterboxd. Ruins these children's education by not giving them year-end exams. Now you got people going out into the world, haven't had these exams. Like, they don't know what's going on in the wizarding world. This is why we need pure blood wizards. These damn mudbloods.
Oh man. Cam, what's your second to last place?
All right, second to last place is Goblet of Fire, actually. Big fan of Goblet of Fire, and this is where I get into 4 out of 5. So 76 out of 100 for myself. Big fan of Goblet of Fire, but I just feel like the games weren't like as intriguing as I would hope. Like I really enjoy them. I didn't love them, I would say. I definitely think there are things they could have done differently, but like I again, it's pretty highly rated. I won't be a Harry Potter hater anymore after watching these, because I did like really enjoy my watch through. I forget what exactly my like anti Dumbledore slander.
When he gave the points to Harry after the water.
Oh yeah. Fucking, oh my God. Awarding what is it, noble points or something?
Yeah. for going back and saving the girl. Bullshit, Dumbledore. You're giving out Make-A-Wish points to Harry this week. Like giving him free phony points. It's absolute bullshit. And Victor Crumb looks like Nikola Jokic. He does.
I'm pretty sure they're the same exact person.
True.
Also, -1 point to the costume department for making Ron look like that, for doing Ron so dirty.
Yeah, did him dirty in this movie. Same with Harry's hair too.
Yeah, everyone's hair in this one. It's bad. bad. But I like that. I'll say, I don't know when to bring this up perfectly. I'll say I like that Harry and Ginny end up together and not Harry and Hermione, because that's just too tropey. But
yeah,
J.K. Rowling was all like, hey, let's make it a little different. And I like that. Also, J.K. Rowling, so fucking racist in these movies. Like the names of these people are crazy. I think is this the one that introduced it? And I just watched, so I should know. Cho Chang. The only Asian character with Cho. That's so
that's
up,
a crazy name to give her.
And then all of the goblins are just Jewish people. That's so racist, JK. Like, this is awful.
But you know what's funny is the Dean, the only like black kid, she names Dean, like the whitest name out there.
Okay, yeah, I didn't even notice that.
It's she's like, this is where I draw the line. I'm not playing with this.
She's crazy.
Absurd.
Or her publisher was like reading through the book and was like, this name's kind of racist. You sure? She's like, yeah, keep that name. And then she gets to like his name and she's like, I'm sorry, I'm drawing the line.
Yeah,
you're changing this to Dean.
Yeah, Dean.
Not Jark.
There are a lot of memes about that, but yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, J.K. Rowling, very shit person.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
So we just did Cam second to last place, Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
George, what's your sixth place?
My number 6, and like the more I look at my ranking, the more I feel like this is too low for this, but I mean, that's just how highly I think of this franchise. I have Deathly Hallows Part 1, which I think is great. Every time I watch this movie, I grow fonder of it. I just find so much value in it as like the part 1 of this epic conclusion. I think when you look at it from that lens, it does a good job. There's such a more depressed tone to this movie that like sets up for a more emotional part 2. I think everything this movie does to set up for Deathly Hallows Part 2, it does incredibly well. And then I said in my Letterboxd review when I had initially reviewed this a while back, I think right there with Half-Blood Prince, I think this is the best looking Harry Potter movie. I think it's just gorgeous. You know, you have like Harry, Ron, and Hermione, they're like on the run, so it just opens the field for these like really wide landscape shots, this really cool sequence in the forest where they're kind of running. Yeah, I see a lot of value. This is the 4 out of 5. This is my last 4 out of 5. So after this, we're getting into the 4.5s for me. But as a part one, I think this is a really solid outing.
Yeah, definitely agree. Yeah, and like it's just hard at this point to stack these up because they all get so close.
That's the thing. This is why every time I've posted a ranking of this on TikTok, like once every 7 months, every time I rewatch it, and every time I do, someone comments, bro keeps recycling material. I'm like, no, it's just every time I rewatch this franchise, something changes within my ranking. Either I have a different number one, or I'll switch like my 3 and 4. Right. Or Deathly Hallows Part 1 used to be my last place one, but I bumped it up to 6. Shit like that. Like every time I rewatch this franchise, something about the ranking changes.
Right. Yep. No, totally agree. Mine moves around all the time. So my 6th place, so 3rd to last, is Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix, which at one point, I don't know if it still is, but I think it's your favorite. But for me, I still really enjoy it. I think the only thing that I didn't like about it is I think on my latest rewatch, it just felt like a little too much filler for my taste. But like again, I still really liked it. But because like this is the one where like Dolores is really starting to take over. Starting to take over Hogwarts.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's like this one just always annoys me because I'm always like, how are you like letting like it's just. I just always get so annoyed with how she just takes over Hogwarts like so easily, and I'm just like, God, it's just. Do something, someone like it's clearly just such a bitch. Like, stop her. But yeah, like still awesome. I'm trying to think of like what the big climax of this one is. Is this one the battle of Dumbledore and Voldemort?
Dumbledore and Voldemort at the end when they're in they go down to like get the prophecy from wherever they are, the government hall. And Harry and the gang fight the Death Eaters, and then this is the one spoiler alert where Sirius dies. Very emotional, very heartbreaking.
That was a long time ago. Like that, like this movie came out a long time.
Yeah, a while back.
It came out even before it.
Tyler, are we still in your 3.5s right now?
Yeah, this is my last 3.5.
Okay.
I forgot to mention those.
What did I miss anything, or was George?
No, my 6th place is Order of the Phoenix, 3.5.
My 6 was Deathly Hallows Part 1, 4.
Okay. Yeah,
and now it's you. And I was gonna ask you. I keep forgetting to ask you, Cam. On this rewatch, all your scores out of 100 were they moved around a bit, or are they just pretty much the same?
No, I kept them relatively the same, mostly just because like I'm not gonna move them a couple points. Yeah, like I don't know if they're a couple points higher, but I think I like actually one score was moved around, which made me because 2 were tied. Then I moved another score just to bump it up. So that kind of changed. So one list was changed, I guess.
Okay.
Nothing crazy. But my 6 is also Order of the Phoenix, Tyler. Without a doubt, I'm sure you guys mentioned it, the best wizarding battle in any of the Harry Potters.
One of you posted, or did someone else on Movie Talk?
I posted it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, of course. Because that shit's fantastic. Just with I don't know why, like I don't know why we didn't get like more cool wizarding battles, and that's one gripe I'd have with Harry Potter. Like it's we get the electricity shooting from the wands, but I feel like we never got like a really cool wizarding battle where they're conjuring up fire or conjuring up this glass and then turning it into dust like they are in this one.
Well, they kind of like, I mean, we'll get into it when we talk about, I guess, what we want to see in the upcoming TV show or the reboot, but like they robbed us of that in Deathly Hallows Part 2 with the final climactic battle of like Harry and Voldemort. Like in the books, they're like in the dining hall, like everyone is watching and like they're going at it, and then Voldemort starts to get weaker and weaker, and like Harry just starts to like bitch him about, and it's like, I don't know, that would have been sick. Like that would have been fantastic, as opposed to just the 2 of them in the courtyard alone.
Yeah, that's fair, and that we can talk about that in the future, but that's definitely something I would enjoy to see, is some cooler wizarding battles, just because you don't really get a sense of all they can do, I feel like, within the movies. And again, like it's done well, just not perfect. And I think that's what, for me, makes this franchise a lot of 4 out of 5s versus 4.5s or whatever. Because I do think the quality of movies there, it's just not, I don't know. That's one gripe of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? I assume you guys mentioned a bunch about Order of the Phoenix, but that's the big takeaway, is the best wizarding battle, without a doubt. Yeah.
And did you wait, was that also what your...
That was my 6, yeah. So 77 out of 100.
All right, so Cam and I line up there. George, now we're in 5th place.
Yeah, now we're in 5th place. My number 5, and now for me personally, we're getting into our 4.5s. I have Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. This is like if they had made this like Deathly Hallows Part 1 and then made Part 1, Part 2, and Part 2, Part 3, I think that would have made sense as like the entire like concluding trilogy of Harry Potter, because I think this movie does such a good job at like expanding the lore around Voldemort. Like we had always had like the extent of the Voldemort lore was he who shall not be named, killed Harry Potter's parents, and then Order of the Phoenix kind of gave us like the whole, when he was in his prime, he had massive numbers of witches and wizards. Like the extent of the Voldemort lore was really just hearing other characters like talk about him out of fear. Whereas in Half-Blood Prince, now we're really diving into like Dumbledore and his backstory with Tom Riddle. And I think that plays out like incredibly well as like technically like a part 1 to this concluding trilogy of like Half-Blood Prince, Deathly Hallows Part 1, and Deathly Hallows Part 2. And then, like I said, for Deathly Hallows Part 1, I think this is the best looking Harry Potter movie. And I don't think it's like particularly close. I think this is a gorgeous film to look at. And then obviously, again, spoiler alert, it's capped off with like the most emotional scene in Harry Potter, or maybe the second most emotional scene in Harry Potter, of Dumbledore's death, which is just...
I can't believe you're throwing out spoiler alerts.
Well, just in case, I just got to be respectful. But yeah, I got Half-Blood Prince at number 5. 4.5 out of 5. Shit bangs.
Yeah, I'm into my 4 out of 5s now. So everything else is 3.5 out of 5s. I have nothing that's lower than a 3.5. But at 5th place, I have Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I feel like that's like the consensus, like number 1 of all time. But it's in 5th place for me. I still really like it.
I'm happy with your take there, and I'm not saying it's that low for me by any means, but I always don't have it number 1 and get a bunch of comments. There's a spoiler alert, but I like that.
Yeah, it's not my number 1, but 5 is.
Yeah, I mean, I think Alfonso Cuarón's like the most acclaimed director of the series, so a lot of people like into film really like kind of favor it as well. But I mean, it definitely takes a much needed turn for the franchise. You go from the 2 kiddie movies to now this one goes completely dark. The thing is, like, the whole like final like third of the movie, and as George would say, spoiler alert, I just didn't care enough for like Buckbeak for like me to be super invested. For me to be invested in this like story. And then like the aspect of time travel is cool, but you have to like relive the entire ending like twice for like 30 minutes each time. And I was just like, I get it. But like the final ending was obviously really cool. But I like a lot of it. I like how it got dark and then kind of just continues dark tone.
They never use time travel again in this series.
No, it would have been so beneficial so many moments in this fucking franchise.
I get it, because anytime you deal with time travel, you can always say, why don't you just travel back? Like, if this happens, just travel back, change it. Well, all that. So I understand it. It's just one of those things. Don't introduce it if you're not going to, like, don't introduce it at least this early on if you're not going to, like, reuse it, I feel like.
Right.
And, yeah, I that's one thing that like just kind of is odd to me.
Yeah, time travel is a tough nugget to crack, and how you
it's impossible.
It's impossible. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you can never use it and then it not be the answer the next time, because any problem, time travel. Any problem, time travel. Like, yeah, that's your answer. But and that's the annoying part of it, to be honest.
Right.
But yeah,
but of course, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's not like they destroyed the turntable or whatever she has. I forget what it's called. It's not like they did anything to it. She still has it, but like they just never talk about it again.
Is that just Dumbledore being a piece of shit again, not giving them time travel?
Yeah, probably
in the future.
Fucking awful teacher. Dude, just sucks.
Obviously, in this one, we're also like introduced to the Dementors. One of the craziest, like, coolest thing ever. The way they come across on screen, so terrifying. That scene.
Expecto Patronum.
Oh, that scene. Yeah, that scene bangs. It's a great scene.
Are we on to 5?
5.
Yeah, 5th place for you.
For some reason, my like list. So I changed my list, and it's showing up like 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 6, 7, 8. Like, so I swear I have this one higher, and then I looked at the numbers below, and they just haven't changed the order. But my number 5, a 78 out of 100. The only score I dropped a little is the Philosopher's Stone or the Sorcerer's Stone. I give a whole lot of benefits to this movie being the first and just like introducing us to this wizarding world, because I think if they fall flat there, and it's kind of like Iron Man, if you fall flat there, you don't have the rest of the franchise being as great. This, I think, hits on 99% of the things, except like the children acting suck. And also the CGI of Philosopher's Stone and Chamber of Secrets really struggles, I think, especially a lot of things looking almost like a lot of creatures looking like gelatinous almost. And then the, or rubbery. And then the Quidditch matches looking not that great when they're flying around. I think a lot of that aspect of it, and that's just technology at the time. But I think that struggles a good amount in that. But I do love like the introduction. You get the theme for the first time. You see Hogwarts for the first time. All of that is done very well, and I think is a big reason that this franchise did so well. To be quite honest, so I'm a big fan of it, and also just again, Albus Dumbledore giving out phony points at the end of the year. Awards 170 points to Gryffindor out of pure bullshit. Just like Hermione, courage, 50 points. And then he gives 10 points to Neville for just not being an asshole.
For just being there.
Yeah, like, what the hell, man?
For literally just existing and not cursing anyone out.
This first year House Cup is under protest because that's some bullshit.
Well, there was a couple of years where we would give out free points at the end of the year, and that's why, like, if I was a student at Hogwarts,
I don't think there are. It's just
really?
this
It's
year,
just that
man.
one?
It's at least in the movies.
I feel like at
don't
the
know
end
what's
of like
in
the
that one.
movies and other movies,
No,
he'd,
at
like,
the end of the
award
second
stuff.
movie, they cancel the test, and then in Goblet of Fire, they give out those phony points to Harry. But other than that, this is the only time. It's bullshit.
Yeah. If I was a student at Hogwarts, I would not try because like everyone would be like, "Come on, man, we got to win the House Cup." And like,
No,
it's rigged. It's a rigged game.
rigged.
Dumbledore's
Yeah.
he's gonna
Bullshit.
pick whoever he
I want
wants
to know
to
where
win.
this man's morals stand. That's why I vote for me for House of Hogwarts. Joe Voldemort. Avada
Number 4, fourth place, George. What's your movie?
4 for me is The Goblet of Fire. Before like the age of like 16, maybe, this was like the only Harry Potter movie I would rewatch like just incessantly. Like this was for the longest time my favorite one. I thought it was the coolest one. The games I thought were just so riveting, so compelling. I don't think they hold up in excitement as much as I would have liked, which is why I think over time this has like pretty much dropped from like my number 2 spot to my number 4 spot. Still held up from a lot of really, really solid moments, a lot of emotion with Hermione, Ron, and Harry. There's a lot of just brutal scenes with the dragon, and I think it just makes for a very compelling experience. Then, of course, just the entire pretty much final sequence with the maze and then meeting Voldemort for the first time, or like the official first time. I thought that entire scene was just...
That is awesome.
It's it's still a frightening scene. And you know what makes it frightening for me? The fact that he's walking around barefoot. I think that shit is scary. Just barefoot in a black cloak. Like, he's a frightening dude, and for some reason being barefoot, every time I see his ugly ass feet walking across the grass, I'm like, this is scary, man. I'd be frightened if this dude walked in my direction. But yeah, I got that at my number 4 spot out of 4.5 out of 5.
I will also say, like, with the scene where they have to, the challenge where they have to find the people in the water, there's no like challenge to it other than finding them. And maybe that's the point of it. I get that. But like, I don't know, you could have done some sort of action where they have to like fight off these mermaids or something, but they really don't. They just go in and grab them.
Yeah.
The only time Harry gets like attacked by the mermaids is when he tries to save
Someone else.
Whoever the other person
Yeah.
is. Is it Cho? It might be Cho.
Well, he's supposed to save Cho, but then he goes back to save
Ron as well, or something.
Ron,
Man,
maybe,
I
or
watched this
someone.
2 days.
Yeah.
I watched this 2 days ago, and I can't fucking
Yeah.
because then he gets moral fiber points, which is
Yeah.
phony points. But yeah, there's no like threat, it feels, and they also reveal that like the kids weren't in danger; they would have come up anyways, which is fine. But it doesn't. But the contestants don't know that at the time, so it would have been nice to like feel that threat a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel that. My 4th place is also Goblet of Fire, the 4th movie. I feel like it's the first 2/3 of the movie are like good, and then the final third is just incredible. Like the whole Voldemort finally materializing final fight with Cedric Diggory, the emotional reaction to that. I feel like the final third of this movie is just so incredible. First 2/3 are still good, but I don't think they quite live up to it. I think the opening of this movie is like super frightening when they're at the big cup and they always basically just get murked and they burn down the entire village. It's insane. The opening is just such a great way to hook you. And then throughout the rest of the movie, you're just always lurking in the back of your mind. And you're like, all right, they're here now. They're coming for sure. And then obviously you get the Cedric Diggory, Robert Pattinson death, R.I.P. Legendary when they come floating down in the beginning of the movie from the sky or whatever, and just like running through air.
Just like running, yeah.
Yeah.
I also would say, like, I don't think it's fair to introduce a character like Mad Eye Moody and then have it revealed that it wasn't Mad Eye Moody, because we've never met this guy before. So I didn't love that. I don't think, like, I've never met this guy. I don't know how he's supposed to act or if he's doing anything weird, you know?
Yeah.
They try to play it off with like that the lip licking the entire time and like the twitching he does.
And he's drinking that potion that he I get that, but I didn't know it wasn't like in previous movies he wasn't doing that, right? You know?
Yeah, true.
I don't love.
Fair.
Yeah. Fourth place, Cam.
Yeah, fourth place for me is Deathly Hallows Part 1. Raised it up to a 79 out of 100. So for me, 2 through 7 are all 4 out of 5s, and then I have a 4.5 and a 3.5 at 8. But yeah, they're all, I think all the Harry Potters are very, very good, I would say. Deathly Hallows Part 1, least bit of action you get, and it's a setup for Part 2, but I think we've talked this before. I prefer that they've done a 2-part movie. I feel like this book needed 2 parts, unlike like Catching Fire, or not Catching Fire, Mockingjay in the Hunger Games franchise, which just like the first movie just stinks.
Fumbled the bag.
Yeah. Whereas this, I think it's important to have the 2 parts, and I think it ends on a really good note with the Dobby death. And I like it a lot. And you get Ron just being an asshole because he's wearing that Horcrux around his neck, and then he leaves for like 20 minutes and then comes back.
He just reappears.
Yeah, that's always good stuff. He just leaves and then comes back. Hey, bud. But
like, where have you been, bro? Oh, just walking.
Also, dude, I don't know when to mention this, but the casts in all of these are so goddamn good. Like every single character.
Yeah.
Every time when I was rewatching, every time I'm like, holy shit, that's Gary Oldman, or holy shit, that's Helena Bonham Carter. And then Luna Lovegood's dad is Reese Ifans, or I don't know exactly. It's the lizard from Spider-Man 2,
yeah.
And then a bunch of other things. But I'm like, oh shit, he's in this, and it's just a bunch of people that the whole time I was going, hey, look at this guy, I know him. And then Brendan Gleeson is Mad Eye Moody, all that jazz. Just great castings all around. Hey, bud, maybe don't steal my coffee. But yeah, that's my number 4.
Yeah, they cooked on this in the casting department. My number 3, maybe to a surprise, is The Order of the Phoenix. But this is what I'm saying. Every time I rewatch this Harry Potter franchise, like my top 3 will change in order. This time around, I had Order of the Phoenix at number 3. I still fucking love this movie. I think it's the darkest tone. I like the fact that we're really diving into Harry's, like, the mental aspect of what it means to be the chosen one. Like, it's eating him alive, and he's clearly not handling it too well. So he has to, like, kind of go into those, like, lesson things with Snape. But this is, like, the darkest Harry Potter movie, and I fucking love it. It's got the tone of, right from the beginning, right when Harry walks into the Weasleys', or it's not even the Weasleys' home. It's like the getaway house or whatever you want to call it, the Order of the Phoenix headquarters. It's just a very, very like dark tone. Like Voldemort's building an army. He used to have these numbers of witches and wizards, and Harry's there. He's like, well, he's building an army that I want to fight. Like, it's all just, it's like the first like very mature movie, I think, as we kind of get into like this final like push of like the final battle with Voldemort, and I just fucking love that. And then of course you guys mentioned it, the final battle with Dumbledore and Voldemort. Like Cam said, wish we got more of those across the franchise, because that shit was sick. That like one part where fucking Dumbledore has Voldemort in like the water, and then Voldemort drops and just like shoots his like cloak at Dumbledore. I don't even know what he does, but it looks so cool. So yeah, I got Order of the Phoenix number 3, 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, because I swear, yeah, because I think I remember the first time I ever saw your Harry Potter rankings. That was number 1, right?
Yeah, it was number 1. Then it was like number 4. Then it moved back to number 2. My top 5 just change all the time. Every time I watch this fucking franchise as a new ranking. I could watch this franchise this week and we could do another episode of this next week and my ranking will be different.
Right. Yeah. Every time I rewatch it, I'm gonna move around at least one movie.
I might move around a movie after this episode, after just talking about it.
Why not? Might fuck around and move around. My third place is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Yeah, like I feel like it's just kind of not a forgotten movie, but I feel like it's. I mean, everyone talks about Deathly Hallows movies, and then Goblet of Fire. I feel like it's the most buzz because it's just like I don't know. I feel like everyone kind of just talks about that one the most fondly in terms of just like enjoyment, and then you kind of Order of the Phoenix is a consensus number 1, or I mean Prisoner of Azkaban. Then you get Philosopher's Stone, and Chamber of Secrets are the ones that everyone watched a million times as a kid. I feel like I hear no one talk about Half-Blood Prince the most, but it's in my top 3. Gorgeous looking movie. You get validation on Draco's turn to the dark, or kind of just almost fulfilling his prophecy, because you could tell he's like hesitant the whole time, but he just had enough of an opening for darkness that it eventually would creep completely in, even if it felt like he wasn't, he was being pressured by his father. He was being pressured by a lot of people in his life, but he just had enough of the susceptibility to be like a dark person that it was inevitable that he was going to ultimately succumb and do things like, the end of this movie, killing off Dumbledore. You get to see Snape's true motives a bit, and then obviously you fully get to see Snape's true motives in Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 2. But Half-Blood Prince, the ending, again, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the Harry Potter movies don't feel like consistent from beginning to end for me. I mean, I really enjoy all of them, but again, this is similar to Goblet of Fire almost, where I think the ending is just like so cracked and so 5 out of 5 that it elevates the rest of the movie a bit for me. But still, is like George said when he's reviewing this one, it truly does feel like kind of like a final trilogy of the series. This would be like a part 1, because this is really breaking down the entire world and really setting up the conflict and being like, all right, now shit's completely on the fan. Hogwarts is in peril. The world is crumbling. Like Harry Potter's gonna have to save this world and make sacrifices. So then let's get into the final 2 movies. So it does kind of truly does feel like a final trilogy. But third place for me is the Half-Blood Prince. Cameron, number 3.
Yeah, for me, what's up? Do you need something? Okay, sorry. For me, third place is, and I switched this live on air because I think you gave me the courage to do it, Tyler. In third place is Prisoner of Azkaban for me. 82 out of 100. I just flipped this in my next one. I like it a lot. I think time travel's a stupid use and you just can't make it good, but I think this one does about as good of a job as you can. I think this one stylistically is one of the better Harry Potters, just like in terms of how it's directed, and you can see that through Alfonso Cuarón, who obviously has like the most I'm trying to think of the word, the deepest resume of any of these directors. But yeah, I do think it does all of that really well. I just don't love time travel as much as most, and I like this movie a whole lot. And I think the story of the next 2 that I mentioned is a little more compelling. And this is like that turn that Tyler said. What's up, bud? This is the turn that Tyler said that, we kind of need it right when we get into these. Oh my gosh. We get into these movies, you need to get a little darker. And the Harry Potter franchise does grow with this audience, which is a big benefit. And I think this is where you start seeing that.
Definitely. Into our top 2 now. So number 2, silver medal, George.
Yeah, I'll just kind of run off of what Cam said because my number 2 is Prisoner of Azkaban. Go back and forth a lot between Order of the Phoenix, Prisoner of Azkaban, and what my number 1 is on like just the order of my top 3, like I said. But Prisoner of Azkaban, yeah, I think this is just like the most technically brilliant Harry Potter movie. If there was one like Harry Potter movie that I think should have been nominated for Best Picture, I would have picked Prisoner of Azkaban. I think just from like a technical lens and objectively speaking about film, I think this is the best made one. And then I like Cam's point in that this franchise does grow with its audience. It never shied away from that. It never shied away from like trying to bring on a new generation, even though we're, at the point of Prisoner of Azkaban, we were 3-4 years. They're not trying to bring on a new generation. They're trying to grow with their audience, and Prisoner of Azkaban does show that very well. I love everything with the Death Eaters. I love everything with Harry and Lupin. I think there's a lot of just emotional conversations in this movie that I really adore. And then everything with Sirius, who's just right there with Snape as being like the most tragic Harry Potter character. And I love his introduction, how he's kind of introduced as this like piece of shit who you expect to end up being like the big bad of this movie, and he turns out to obviously be Harry's godfather and just be this loving mentor to Harry, which I fucking adore. And then the Expecto Patronum scene is one of my favorites in the entire I was about to say entire MCU, entire Harry Potter franchise. That just felt like the most mature moment in Harry's career at that point. That was his triple-double. That was his MVP season. And I fucking love that movie. So I got Prisoner of Azkaban at number 2.
Yeah, my number 2 is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. So the Snape revelation scene where you see like the 5-minute flashback of him and Lily Potter and kind of get background on that whole romance and how his life turned out after that, after she married Tom Potter instead of him. Just one of the best scenes ever. Like one of my favorite scenes ever in movies. Like that scene's so good. Alan Rickman is so incredible in that scene, just playing such raw emotion as Snape's character finally comes a complete arc, and Harry realizes what Snape kind of was all along, which obviously is kind of a massive curveball from what you watch the first time through. You're like, he's the worst. He's like the worst professor. He's always so mean. He always is conniving and has something up his sleeve. And then it kind of finally comes full circle in this one before he meets his demise. Of course, you get basically an hour and a half of pure action in this movie once the beginning of this movie kicks it off. Some very fun battles. You get Neville with the sword, iconic. And then just the very ending, too, is just awesome with when it just kind of shows like a little flash forward to the future when they're older. Their little kids are being sent off to Hogwarts. And we see that, Ron and Hermione are still together. Harry and Ginny are still together. Draco, he has a kid and a wife, but I can't remember.
Ending scene.
Is Draco's wife from anything in Harry Potter? I can't remember. She's not like a character.
The getting older scene is the up aging rather than de-aging looks bad, I think.
Yeah, they definitely went for like practical effects, or like makeup or something. It just didn't work out well because the kids were like, I don't know, 22 or 23 or something, and they tried to make them look like 40. But yeah, number 2 for me is Deathly Hallows Part 2. Number 2 for Cam.
My number 2 is the Half-Blood Prince, and I think what makes this movie is just learning a little bit more about Snape. It looks the best. Like Snape's the best character. I think we all agree. Maybe not. I think Snape's the best character, and I think that's the point of his character is like the whole time you think he's a fucking ass, but he really has the deeper motivations or whatever. He's the best, and you learn like he's the Half-Blood Prince. He kills Dumbledore, doesn't disarm him. Very, very detailed oriented movie. I like that. But yeah, you get a ton of him. You get a ton of Harry just learning about Horcruxes, going on the hunt for one. You get some more Dumbledore actions, good stuff. But yeah, I liked the Half-Blood Prince a whole lot. Rip Dumbledore.
Big rip.
Yeah, talked a bunch of shit about him, but in the end, you gotta respect his greatness. I can be a hater all I want, but I can't deny his greatness as a wizard. So rip Dumbledore.
Dumbledore cared about the survival of the entire wizarding world. So at what cost?
I know, at what cost?
At what cost?
Should have just been pure bloods. Shout out Voldemort, the true GOAT. Also, yeah, Voldemort being Ralph Fiennes, awesome.
Yeah.
So good. And
fantastic cast.
I never noticed when I rewatched these when Max came out. So what was that? Probably 2020, maybe 3 years ago. And then this is my first rewatch of them since. Just awesome. Shout out Ralph Fiennes. Just fantastic as well.
Yeah. He's like he's like right there with Alan as like one of my favorite castings in this universe.
Sure. Yeah.
For sure.
I'm with you.
My number 1, Deathly Hallows Part 2. This is just, I think, this is my only 5-star raised it finally to a 5-star.
Getting real bodies
after-
from George.
Am I losing him?
No,
or
I
is
think it might be back now. But
Am I here?
Restart.
Voldemort was casting a hex because he doesn't like what everybody's about to say for number one. All right, you're back. What's number
Am I
one?
back? All right, my number one, Deathly Hallows Part 2. On rewatch, when I rewatched this franchise, like, I don't know, a month ago, I just raised this to a 5 stars. I think this is just such a worthy conclusion to this entire franchise. This was such a just incredible task, a fucking Mount Everest to climb, to like create a satisfying ending that lives up to just how great this franchise had been up until that point. And I think it absolutely just rose to that task. This is just like, I don't know, it's a 5-star for me just because of what this movie means to me. It was like one of the first films I truly remember falling in love with. I remember going to the midnight premiere of this back when like those were a thing, like 12:01 a.m. showings. I went to it. I just remember that this was the first moment where I was like, yo, movies are fucking dope. This movie was dope, and I love this a lot. But then, like Tyler said, I think there are just a lot of fantastic moments in this movie. It's essentially just one massive battle, but you have the always scene, which is my favorite scene in any Harry Potter movie. You have the final battle with Harry and Voldemort, and they're just going at it for like the final like 25 minutes of this movie. I love the scene in the forest when Harry is killed by Voldemort and he has this conversation with Dumbledore. Neville with the sword, like Tyler said, is just iconic. I think this movie just has so many just like iconic payoffs that I just fucking love. And every time I watch this movie, I'm just like, wow, they really did this. Like they really like executed an 8th movie in a franchise, the conclusion, just as brilliantly as they could have. Like I don't think they could have made this movie any better, except for a couple of like changes from the book. But other than that, I fucking love this movie. I think this is the best Harry Potter movie. It's my only 5 out of 5.
Yeah, my number one has changed, and it just goes up more on rewatch. And this is a true 0 to hero story because first time I ever saw Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows Part 1, firmly in last place. Now it's number 1. This kid, just you count him out when you first see him. You watch that first scrimmage, and you're like, not the best tape I've ever seen from a player. Then you start to put him in the rotation. You're like, gonna give this guy some more minutes, and then after a couple more games,
He can
this
ball.
guy's the star of your team.
Yeah,
He's
he
the
can,
star of your team.
He can ball for sure.
Yeah, on the outside looking in, he might not ball, but he might be like Alex Caruso. Like you look at the guy, you're like, he's not going to be putting up crazy numbers. Then you just see him throwing alley-oops and doing 360 dunks. And you're like, what's going on here? Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, you guys mentioned it. There's been a lot of movies now and franchises that, probably a lot of the reason is because of Harry Potter, that's doing the Part 1, Part 2 finales. A lot of them do it wrong. Mockingjay being the biggest one, I think. What other ones have done? There's so many franchises.
Twilight did it.
Twilight did it.
I have no idea. Those are the
Yeah, I
three.
don't know.
Those are the 3 big ones that come
Those
to
ones
mind.
jumping out. But yeah, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I think because of the first time you're watching it through, or at least for me, I was like, I just want the end battle. You give me all this like 2 hours of like drama and nonsense and like running around and chasing things down. But for me personally, I think this is the best looking one of the franchise. The cinematography is great. I mentioned in Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 2, the Snape scene, the Revelation scene is one of my favorite scenes of all time. Same in this one, the dancing, the Nick Cave scene between Harry Potter and Hermione is one of my favorite scenes ever. Just so awesome, so heartfelt, because you do grow up with these movies, and it's like rewatching them is, and especially if you watch these again after watching the Harry Potter 20th anniversary, like Return to Hogwarts, and you can like kind of personalize these people more, and like realize like, they're people, not just like characters. It's just crazy thinking about the culmination of like these kids have been together since they were like 6, and now they're like 22, and that dance scene is just so emotional. They like everything they've been through in like real life to get to this stage. But I think this movie is so beautiful looking. The Dobby death, incredible, sad. And I don't know, I just appreciate it more. I just feel like the first time I watched it, I was just in a rush. I was like, I just want to get to the final battle. Like we know it's here, as we mentioned, earlier in the pod multiple times. Half-Blood Prince really feels like a part 1 of a 3, where part 1 it kind of shows everything's going to shit now. We need this final battle, and then part 1 kind of says, "Hey, pause. We gotta meditate with these characters a little more. There's some things that need to be done. A lot of character development." And the animated retelling of the story of the Deathly Hallows is awesome.
So good.
I
love it.
So good.
Love that.
I could watch that like over and over as just like a
Yeah.
little clip. Like that might be one of my like. I know we talked about like favorite movie scenes ever, like stuff you want to rewatch on YouTube. Like retelling Deathly Hallows, just like so good. There's such a great way to do that was with that little animation. Completely locked me in. But yeah, Deathly Hallows Part 1 is my favorite, and it's like, you could ask me every morning when I wake up if I prefer Part 1 or Part 2 is my favorite of all time, and I'll probably change it every day. But today I woke up and said Part 1, so that's my number 1. Cam, what is your number 1?
All right, my number 1 is Deathly Hallows Part 2. Great. Deathly Hallows Part 2. It's one of my favorites. Hey, hon, can you come grab? 1 second, sorry. He's just freaking out. Deathly Hallows Part 2, I think, is it's the most heartfelt as well as the most action-packed, and I think that combines for just good stuff. So I have it at a 90 out of 100. You've already mentioned it, but the Snape scene is one of the best in the entire Harry Potter franchise. Final battle is great. Could be done better, as we talked earlier. I would have liked like a cooler fight, but it is still great. It shows like that the Elder Wand doesn't work with Voldemort and all that really well. I would have preferred almost if like, and this is not a knock on the movies at all because it's based on source material from the books. I would have liked if like Deathly Hallows Part 1 was like an action adventure trying to like find all of the Horcruxes. Like they only find the one in Part 1, and I know they've destroyed 3 up until this point, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Or no, they've destroyed 2. Hell.
Well, no, they had destroyed the book.
They destroyed the book. They destroyed the ring.
Yeah.
But they get, and then the Half-Blood Prince leads them to a fake one.
Yeah, and then they destroy the real one in Deathly Hallows Part 1.
But they don't find, well, yes, they do find the real one.
Okay. Yeah, they found the real one.
Okay, so they only find the one and then destroy it. I would have liked if they like find the other 4 or something. I don't know. Again, that's not a knock on the movie necessarily. More so, it just would have been interesting in the books, but you can't change that now. Just kind of my thoughts, but Deathly Hallows Part 2 is so fucking good, man. 90 out of 100. I think everything they did with it is really awesome. And talk about Neville, perfect casting, because like he's this big dweeb who ends up being like gaining the courage and being a big hero. Shout out him for just being a really good looking dude now. Because like he makes the perfect like character arc just with his looks. He looks like a big dweeb in the first 4. And all of a sudden this dude hits puberty and starts looking really good. And yeah, so shout out Neville for just being like a
probably made the most important play of the whole movie.
He definitely did. And yeah, and it works with his character.
Yeah, he broke him off the bench and dropped 40.
Exactly. He's just a dog now. So shout out to him. Yeah, not much more to say about this one. It's just awesome. And then like the Albus and Harry talking, don't pity the death, pity the living, and pity those that don't never find love. Fucking awesome. Great line. And then yeah, him coming back and all that jazz is just good stuff. Also, I never realized how like Grindelwald is mentioned in this, and then that's what the Fantastic Beasts are about. I never really realized that before, as I didn't really watch the Fantastic Beasts.
He's mentioned a lot.
Yeah, until like last year.
Yeah.
Bad movies, but you know.
Yeah, I've never rewatched Harry Potter after watching Fantastic Beasts. So yeah, I guess it's something like Grindelwald that you probably just don't pick up on it. But I guess he's mentioned a lot. He's mentioned
with like the Deathly Hallows, and then Voldemort goes to him to learn about who has the Elder Wand, and he learns that like it's buried with Dumbledore and all that jazz. So yeah, you do learn about, or like get Grindelwald mentioned every once in a while.
Well, there's our rankings. Since it kind of took a while, let's go through just quickly listing them off from back to front so people can quickly gauge what our rankings are. So George, do you have your rankings ahead of you from like worst to best in the Harry Potter franchise?
Number 8, we had Sorcerer's Stone. Number 7, Chamber of Secrets. 6, Deathly Hallows Part 1. 5, Half-Blood Prince. 4, Goblet of Fire. 3, Order of the Phoenix. 2, Prisoner of Azkaban. And 1, Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Yeah, I go 8 Chamber of Secrets, 7 Sorcerer's Stone, 6 Order of the Phoenix, 5 Prisoner of Azkaban, 4 Goblet of Fire, 3 Half-Blood Prince, 2 Deathly Hallows Part 2, 1 Deathly Hallows Part 1. Cameron.
And then for myself, 8, the only 3.5 out of 5 Chamber of Secrets, and then the rest are 4s. Goblet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix, Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone, Deathly Hallows Part 1, Prisoner of Azkaban, Half-Blood Prince, and then the only 4.5 and 90 out of 100, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Also, I looked this up. Okay, so if you had to guess, so the first 2 Harry Potters are PG rated, and then it gets to PG-13, except for one. What would your guess be, being the only other PG rated Harry Potter after the first 2?
Deathly Hallows Part 1. Deathly Hallows Part 2. Deathly Hallows Part 2.
I think that's PG rated. When she says, "Not my daughter, you bitch."
I don't know. I guess Order of the Phoenix.
I have no idea.
Definitely. No, it is Half-Blood Prince, PG rated.
Really?
Yeah, interesting, right?
That is interesting.
I mean, like, it's not like there's anything really in the movie that wouldn't be, but like you wouldn't.
They didn't show him splatting on the ground. They just showed him falling off.
Yeah.
They didn't watch like Dumbledore's body just like flop on the floor when he dies. But yeah, so
interesting.
So PG rated. Just kind of a dark movie to be. PG.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Not really like. Not anything bad about it, but just kind of a dark movie of the whole series to be. PG.
I feel like the whole sequence where Harry and Dumbledore go to get the Horcrux is enough to make this a PG-13.
Yeah,
like
you're not wrong.
Like it's a dark scene where like Harry's feeding Dumbledore this thing that's torturing him.
He's begging to be killed.
Yeah.
Bailey, we're watching it.
That's got to be a PG-13.
Yeah, right. I don't know. PG
so the first 2 movies are Chris Columbus Productions. Yep. 3rd is Alfonso Cuarón. 4th is only one I never remember. Mike Newell for Goblet of Fire. And then it's David Yates the rest of the time. Mike Newell, shout out you. I feel like you're the most forgotten. I feel like Chris Columbus is just a name you don't really forget. Then obviously Alfonso Cuarón's a legendary director. And then David Yates just did a million Harry Potter movies. And now he's trying to do other movies and it's not working out well. But
all right, real quick trivia, just for funsies. Can you two go down the list of Harry Potters in your guess of box office numbers? So start.
Oh God, hold on, I need to pull up my ranking. Number one has to be Deathly Hallows Part 2. There's no.
Okay. Yeah, that's number 1. We know that because that's the only one over a B. That's the only one.
It's gotta be.
Right, I'll let you lock that in. That is number 1.
Okay. I feel like Deathly Hallows Part 1 is not a dumb guess for number 2.
I feel like that's my number 2 guess.
I feel like that's got to be the number 2 guess.
One strike, not Deathly Hallows Part 1.
At the second?
I bet opening weekend, I bet it might have been number 2, but maybe word of mouth. People are like, oh, it's not super high.
Yeah.
Second, I mean, could it? No, it can't be Sorcerer's Stone.
I'm feeling Goblet of Fire, maybe, because I think Goblet of Fire is just the most accessible Harry Potter movie, where it's just like,
I'm a bunch of games.
I'm a bunch of games. Oh, I don't know. Hold on. All right, we'll lock in Goblet of Fire for number 2.
Strike number 2.
Dude, what is number 2? There's no way it's like Sorcerer's Stone or Chamber of Secrets, right? Just give me like a head nod or something.
There's no way these are correct numbers. Like, give me 1 second. I'm gonna find. I question these numbers, so give me 1 second.
Okay.
Because how much do you think Deathly Hallows Part 2 made?
It made over $1 billion.
Yeah, it was over $1 billion.
Okay, this is telling me 325. This is Box Office Mojo though, like ranked.
That might be domestic.
Is that domestic?
Okay, this might be domestic. You're probably not wrong. Let's see.
Which domestic? I've always thought it was such a funny like domestic because I guess Harry Potter are American productions, but it's like no one's American in them. So it's like what it really is domestic.
Yeah. Right. Okay. We're just going with that. So sorry, y'all. We're just going with that, but it probably is domestic, like you said. So you got one more try at number 2, I guess.
All right. I don't really think global would change much anyways. Like I feel like it's just about the same, like same ranking would probably be the same.
I feel like the only safe bet is Sorcerer's Stone, like just the introduction.
Yeah,
like,
I found it worldwide, so I'm ready.
Okay, well, was number 2 anything we've already said? Was it Goblet of Fire?
List doesn't change.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Sorcerer's Stone, there's a lot of hype. Maybe Chamber of Secrets bumped it
My
up.
th-
'cause
my
then
thing
everyone
is
knew
my
it.
thing for not being the Sorcerer's Stone is at that point it was what 2001. So J.K. Rowling hadn't finished the books yet. So I don't know if there was that like massive appeal.
Maybe Alfonso Cuarón got the people to the box office for Prisoner of
I don't know.
Azkaban.
I feel
what
like
do you wanna
Sorcerer.
lock
I feel like Sorcerer's Stone is
All
a
right,
safe
I'll lock
guess.
in Sorcerer's Stone.
I feel like
Sorcerer's
Sorcerer's
Stone is number 2. Good work.
Okay,
Oh,
it is
good
not,
job, good
okay,
job, good
okay.
Kinda crazy, right?
Good job.
Almost making $1 billion, 963 million at the worldwide.
Well, we have 2 strikes and we've gotten 2.
Yeah,
so we
I
have
mean
6 left to
now
go.
now we're just fucked.
Now you got 6 movies to guess.
Well, here, what do we think the worst performing box office one was?
Probably Half-Blood Prince, if I imagine, or not Chamber of Secrets, because everyone's coming off the high of how good that first
I'd
movie
say either
is.
Half-Blood Prince or Order of the Phoenix. I feel like it's got to be one of those 2.
I can't see a world where Deathly Hallows Part 1 is not top 3. Like, come on, the conclusion of this
Right.
franchise.
Yeah, I feel like the only way you could top that would be the first one ever. So I think we should lock in 3rd place, Part 1.
All right,
Good pull. Good pull.
Okay,
That
good
is
pull.
Number 3.
I am stunned it's not number 2. I'm genuinely shocked.
Now 4, would it be the second movie ever? Or would it be the half?
4 could go anywhere. 4 could go
Gotta be
anywhere.
either Chamber of Secrets, Goblet of Fire, or Half-Blood Prince for me. That's what number 4 has to be. One of those 3.
I'm leaning Goblet of Fire just because I feel like Half-Blood Prince, Order of the Phoenix, and Chamber of Secrets got to be the bottom 3.
Yeah, I feel like
If I'd imagine, Cam is smiling, which means one of that.
I'm playing with.
Cam is smiling, which means one of the ones I just mentioned is number 4. So
do we feel more
It's a
confident
wacky
about?
list, I would say.
Do we feel
It's a
more confident
wacky-
about guessing number 4? Or do we feel more confident about guessing the last place now?
oh god, I don't even know what could be last place. We're not including Fantastic Beasts because
No.
those are definitely last place.
There's only one Fantastic Beasts movie that beats one Harry Potter movie. I do have them on the list, but I wasn't counting them.
I'm looking at my ranking right now. I don't want to be responsible for our final strike, you know.
Yeah, I think
I think
I'm leaning Chamber of Secrets
for the last place.
No, for 4th place.
For 4th place, all right. I think I'm between Chamber or Goblet of Fire, so I'm cool with either one.
Want to lock it in?
Lock in Chamber.
All right. Neither of you would have been correct, to be
Okay.
fair.
Oh, damn.
So first place, The Deathly Hallows Part 2. Second, Sorcerer's Stone. 3rd place, Deathly Hallows Part 1. 4th place, Order of the Phoenix.
In
Fifth-
4th,
Would not
Yeah.
have guessed that.
Would never have guessed that.
939 million. 5th, Half-Blood Prince, 929.
wow.
Goblet of Fire, Chamber of Secrets, and then in last place, The Prisoner of Azkaban.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Kind of a wacky list, right? And then Fantastic Beasts, the first one, made 811 million, beating out The Prisoner of Azkaban. Crimes of Grindelwald made some, and then The Secrets of Dumbledore made jack shit at the box office.
Oh, that is terrible.
Yeah,
Alfonso
kinda-
Cuarón could not
I know.
could not
right?
lock in
I know. Crazy.
audience members.
All right.
Wild.
What had he done at that point, though?
I don't know.
Like, was
Really?
was he the dude at that point? Like, let
No,
me
not
see.
really, probably.
I'm gonna look at this
Yeah,
literally.
I'm pulling it up quick. So Alfonso Cuarón at the time, he had directed.
I mean, Y Tu Mama Tambien was the
Yeah, that's
big
the only
one.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
The
because
only
he didn't
thing-
he didn't do Children
But
of
even
Men.
that's
until-
not even that's not a box office.
Yeah, that's not a box
Right.
office grab.
You would have to have. I think his name got put on the map with general audience with either Children of Men or Gravity.
Gravity.
Yeah,
I think
Gravity.
One. Yeah.
Because he won Best Director for Roma,
Hey,
I
honey.
believe, and
Does
Gravity.
the name Alfonso Cuarón mean anything to you? Like, have you heard that name? No, she's never heard that name. Like,
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. For
that
anyone.
right there is just like general.
Yeah.
Emma's my go-to general audience person who
Mhm.
goes and sees like 3 movies a year, and it's because I make her.
Valid. All right. Well, now we're gonna break into a little just like general Harry Potter discussions. The first thing I pulled up is I have the Interhouse Quidditch Cup wiki pulled up. So all the Quidditch stats in history of all Quidditch, dating all the way back to the 1600s is when Quidditch started as a sport, and 1991 was when Harry Potter became the youngest seeker in Gryffindor history. Or no, not Gryffindor history. Sorry, it in 100 years. He was not the youngest ever. A little inflated because he got the Nimbus 2000, which was like the best broom on the market at the time. But a lot of people like to slander Harry Potter.
It's a pay-to-win sport. It's a pay-to-win sport.
It's pay-to-win. It is.
It's like golf. If you can pay for the best equipment, you're probably pretty good.
You still have to have some skill, but the better equipment is definitely going to help.
That's
but
fair.
Everyone likes to slander Harry Potter's career, saying he's not a Hall of Famer. And
he's got it. He's got to be no. He's got to be a Hall of Famer.
Hey,
he made some.
He's not a Hall of Famer. I'm saying he's a system player. Wouldn't work in today's physicality.
Dude, he caught the snitch with a broken arm. I mean,
he's kind of
that's crazy.
Is that when he caught it with his mouth?
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's the
no. He broke his arm in Chamber of Secrets, I believe. And I think the first one is where he got sick and.
Here's the year by year. So every year for Quidditch, the season is just each house plays each other once. So Gryffindor versus Slytherin versus Hufflepuff.
That's whack.
That's crazy.
Awful. That's awful.
Should be a 3-game series or something.
Season 1, Gryffindor beats Slytherin, so he's 1-0. Then Gryffindor beats Hufflepuff, he's 2-0. And then he's recovering in a hospital wing during the final match against Ravenclaw.
Does not management finish. Harry Potter. Harry load management Potter, we'll call him. Congrats.
So he goes 2-1 with 1 does not play in the first season. So he plays 2 out of 3 matches. Season 2, he wins.
A picture of him in the hospital right now saying Harry load management Potter.
Season 2, he beats Slytherin, and then the remainder of the season gets canceled due to attacks on Muggleborns. So only 1 game in season 2,
Harry.
But he's 3-0 at this point. And then the next season loses to Hufflepuff because he's attacked by Dementors. So loses.
Oh, that's where he falls a mile to his death before Dumbledore saves him.
Yep, no mercy though. Hufflepuff smelled blood, and they put the dagger in, giving him his first loss. But then he's able to beat Ravenclaw and Slytherin. And this is the only season in his entire career he's able to play all 3 matches. And then the next season, the whole season's canceled due to the Triwizard Tournament.
Harry load management Potter is killing me.
That's hilarious.
Should I throw that out from the ReelTok again?
Yeah, do please. Then the next season, Gryffindor beats Slytherin, and then Dolores just bans Harry Potter from playing the remainder of the season because Dolores sucks. And then final season, he beats Slytherin, and then he loses to Hufflepuff when he's knocked unconscious by Cormac McLagan's bludger for half the match. And then the final match, Harry Potter is in detention with Severus Snape. So season 1, he only plays 2 out of 3.
Yeah, this dude is actually I could do that too if I played.
He's 7-2 record. 7-2 record. A lot of the championship games or the final games of the season, he is out either due to suspension, injury, or he's not going to be there when you need him, but he can put up good numbers. He is the youngest seeker ever, but
he's got to be.
First off,
he's got to be in the seeker GOAT conversation.
Let me just say first off, Quidditch, dumb sport.
Dumb sport.
That the entire game you could be up actually 140-0, and all of a sudden the other team catches 1 snitch and wins. Absolutely awful. Horrible game.
Wait, why did you say 140? It's like 150 actually, like the score you need to win or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, points are so you get a 150 for a snitch, I believe.
Oh, gotcha.
Golden snitch. Also, by the way, like what a whack name. This thing's just telling on people.
Yeah.
Whack name for a golden ball. I don't know, but weird game, weird design. Harry Potter's a system player, wouldn't be able to play in the physicality of the game today.
Yeah, and what's weird is is Hogwarts the equivalent of college?
I'd say college
because they go to the
they go at 11 years old.
Well, I know, but I'm saying like in the 4th movie, The Goblet of Fire, they start off with like that, like World Cup Quidditch, and those people are way better than Harry Potter and everyone else.
Yeah.
So like those are like professional Quidditch players, and then Hogwarts is like the farm system. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Cam, you mentioned on the latest rewatch that you were starting to like be a big Dumbledore hater. So what was the
Dumbledore just gives out pony points to Harry. That's why I'm a Dumbledore hater. I mean, he's actually giving out free wins to this guy. He's already the chosen one, man. You don't have to give him these phony points. Like he can figure it out. And also Dumbledore gives him phony points at the end, giving him the thing that brings him the resurrection cube. It just makes it easy for him to come back to life. Bullshit.
He did not come back to life because of the resurrections, though.
Yeah, he did. Right? That's the whole point.
No, he came back to life because Voldemort killed his own Horcrux.
No, but he has the stone. That's
No,
he
he drops the stone before he goes to see Voldemort after he sees the ghosts of his mom and dad. Yes.
I just watched it. No.
I'm telling you, he sees the ghosts of his dad, his mom, Lupin, and Sirius.
Yeah, but I think he already had this. That's the whole point of the Deathly Hallows.
No, but then he drops drops the stone before he goes to see Voldemort.
Man, this fucking
Voldemort, when he Avada Kedavra, Harry kills his own Horcrux, and then when Harry is talking to Dumbledore,
and he kills Harry, and Harry comes back because he has the stone. He
didn't have the stone though. He drops the stone.
Yeah, but he has it in like his system.
Oh my god!
He touches it, and he's got the stone powers. He's got the wizarding dungeon magic powers. Come on, come on. That's why.
There's a big debate on Dumbledore, like if he's a bad guy in terms of, is he doing it for the good of the team?
He's doing it exactly. He is doing it for the protection of the entire wizarding world. He knows Harry's a great dude, but gotta sack one dude or the entire wizarding world. He had to make a decision, and Dumbledore made that tough decision,
Maybe Dolores was right. He's lost his way.
But I don't know. Like, it wasn't a done deal for sure that like Harry Potter could save things. It was kind of a gamble, just to, like raise his kid to hope he can take on Voldemort. He kind of put all his eggs in Harry Potter's basket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
it worked out. Bro got it.
Kind of whack. Nothing in his own basket.
I mean, Cam, Aberforth Dumbledore has to be your favorite character because that dude shits on Dumbledore the entire time.
Who?
Aberforth, his brother.
His brother?
Yeah.
His brother's kind of nice with it at the end when he throws out that.
The Patronus.
And he's all like, Patronus. And
he shits on Dumbledore the entire time he's talking to Harry, Ron, and Hermione.
He kind of does. Yeah, he's a goat. He's not. He's the best. But I like Dumbledore. I just like to give him shit. Him and I are buds. We're on first name basis. We're on first name basis. Me and Albus. And I like. There's no reason. So he has like 6 names, right? So it's Albus something 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 Brian.
Brian.
There's no reason to give him Brian other than J.K. Rowling just being a jackass.
Yeah, she thought that would be a much bigger laugh than it really was.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He just gives out phony points. Unfortunately, that's all he does.
We're gonna talk through some of our favorite characters by doing a character draft from Harry Potter. So we're gonna go 7 rounds so we can kind of get deep in the Harry Potter bag. 21 total characters being drafted.
Deep in my bag.
So then we'll kind of use this as a way to talk about some maybe underrated characters as well as obviously our favorite characters, the ones going in the first round. So since we don't have Seth, we'll do 7 rounds, and we're gonna go George, then myself, then Cam. Loop our way back around and get 7 rounds of our favorite Harry Potter characters of all time. George, first pick.
Professor Snape, obviously. Yeah, I mean come on. He is just the most tragic character. He is the best character. He's so dope. Love him.
Yeah, that's tough. He's like my clear 1-1. So it's like, where do I really go from here?
Yeah, I think he's.
After Snape, I don't think there's like a consensus like 2 or 3.
Yeah, like, do I want to get Harry on the squad? Do I want to get Voldemort on the squad? I'm gonna get Voldemort on the squad. We're getting
Voldy.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Cam. You're literally dressed as him, but we're getting Voldy.
Crazy.
He's come to die. My pick. I'll go with Harry. If he's not in the first round, we look like idiots.
Yeah, he's not in
the first round. What are we doing here?
Gotta be R1. Gotta be R1.
Second, I'm gonna go with Albus Dumbledore because
the biggest hater.
He looks good on a graphic.
When your biggest hater becomes your biggest ally.
Yeah,
he's only useful for a graphic.
Oh my god!
3 of the big Harry Potter actors have passed, unfortunately, like in tragic deaths.
Yeah,
like, Albus, Snape, and
Coltrane.
Coltrane.
Well, wait. What do you mean? Didn't Michael get
just way too young?
Michael Gambon died of old age. No, he didn't.
Okay, not Albert. He was.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
The other 2. All right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My next pick. Who do I want to pair up with Voldy? We're gonna go with. We'll get Ron Weasley on the squad.
Wow,
Ron Weasley, the worst of the 03. I'm thinking.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I was between him or Hermione.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm about to snack Hermione and Sirius on my back-to-back.
Yeah, that's good back-to-back right there. Oof, man, I'm kind of fumbling the bag a bit here. So, do I want? Yeah, there's like still a couple places we could go here. There's some sleepers, but I feel like it's too early for sleepers. Just gotta play the hits.
And you went with Ron?
Ron's a hit.
I mean, he's a hit, but
great, but he is a hit.
Yeah, we'll go with Rubius Hagrid.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I think Hagrid's a fan favorite for sure.
He's a good one.
My number 3, I'll go with Neville Longbottom. Like we said earlier, just makes it
Neville
good.
in the R3. What
that.
Hey, I like Neville. Neville's
shout out him. He would have never thought when he walked into those Hogwarts doors that he would ever be a round 3 pick.
His all-time greats.
Yeah. He went from a G League bench player to a starter on the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 4. You already took Sirius. Man, I didn't come prepared. I'll go with
Cho Chang.
No. Might
No
go with I'm going with like just the kids. I'll go with Luna Lovegood.
Yeah.
I was hoping I could snag her later.
I don't know who that actress is, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, who does the
Ivana
Ivana Lynch?
I remember seeing her in the Return to Hogwarts documentary, and she's literally just like sounds and acts exactly like you'd expect Luna Lovegood to. Really.
Yeah.
They just picked her up and said, "Just do that."
Old Harry Potter's way to get that bag.
4th pick. There's 2 that are jumping out at me. Which one do I want to go for? They're both annoying, but also iconic. Yeah, we'll pair up Voldemort with. We'll get Draco Malfoy in the squad.
Yeah.
I was
true Slytherin.
Was wondering when that was gonna go.
Yeah, George is back to back.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the absolute queen, Miss Minerva McGonagall.
Yeah, she's great.
I honestly didn't think anyone would pick her. I was hoping she'd get back, but good.
I mean, dude, Deathly Hallows Part 2. She pulled out a wand, no hesitation, looking Snape dead in the eyes.
Yeah.
That's queen shit right there. And then my 5th pick. Oh, but we're going 7 rounds, so I don't gotta fret. My 5th pick. God, oh my God, this is a tough one because now we're getting to like the interesting players. I'm gonna go with just a complete bitch in Bellatrix Lestrange.
Damn you. Good pull.
Sorry.
I mean, yeah.
I just needed bad on my board. I've had heroes so far, so I need some cunty energy.
Helena Bonham Carter, like one of the best role players in this franchise.
Dude, she's so good.
Yeah.
For like the amount of for as little screen time as she has, she commands a screen like crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. She is definitely someone who's absolutely typecast, but does it well.
Oh yeah, but does it so well.
Mm-hmm.
She's just the god.
Oh man, where do I want to go here? You know what? I was gonna get him in the last round, but I'll snag him back. I need some good grace on my team. I'll get Dobby.
Oh, it's a good one.
Cam gets back to back. Not your final 2 picks.
God damn it!
In a TikTok of me with this fucking outfit on. So who'd you pick? Sorry,
I did Dobby.
You did Dobby. Okay, I'm taking Mad Eye Moody.
Yeah, good one.
There we go. And then I want to get some love on my team. We're going with Ginny Weasley. I like
Ginny.
No, it doesn't do a whole lot during it. Just kind of here to defend.
You worried there's gonna be any distractions in the locker room with
Harry?
Harry and Ginny. That's
if there were distractions in the locker room, they would have had issues when they were fighting. But no problem there. Good chemistry. That's all. It's all only benefits.
All right, now we're in the 6th round here, and
now we're getting to the interesting folk.
We are indeed. I'm gonna go with Cedric Diggory.
No, damn it!
There's just no one else jumping out at me at that for where I want to take it more than him.
I wanted
your
that one
final 2 picks
so badly. That was like that. I did not think you were gonna go there. That was so locked into my next pick. All right, I'm gonna go with Mr. Remus Lupin as my 6th pick. I feel like great mentor to Harry. He deserves to be on this board.
Mhm.
And then give me another fucking queen. Give me Molly Weasley.
I was waiting for her to get picked. She's
Yeah. Happy we went to 7 rounds. We could get
Yeah.
sleepers like this.
Yeah. Gonna be tough when she kills Bellatrix on my team and we're down a player, but it is what it is. Oh my god, and then Bellatrix gonna kill Sirius. I got no one on my team.
bad locker room.
Yeah,
chemistry.
bad locker room
Bad
chemistry.
locker
I want someone to pick one person so badly.
Interesting. I'm gonna
Are these
go
last
with
picks, right?
Yeah.
yeah. These are final picks. Yeah, there's some funny honorable mentions I could have, but I'm gonna go with Gilderoy Lockhart, Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah, tell
Yeah.
him. Also, another great casting. I forgot Kenneth Branagh was in this fucking universe. He sucks, but he's just
douchebag.
Very incompetent. Cam, final pick in the board.
Final pick. I think it's an absolute sneaker or sleeper. My son just fell. Hedwig.
I was wondering if someone was gonna go there. Hedwig. Some honorable mentions: Moaning Myrtle, left off the draft board.
Wait, who was your final pick?
Hedwig.
I wanted someone to pick Filch.
Who?
Yeah, Filch. I feel like Dolores Umbridge is like worthy of a draft pick.
Yeah, she could have been.
She was so hateable. She
is.
Lucius,
Yeah, it was about to say Lucius Malfoy.
Peter Pettigrew.
Dude, even Helen McCrory and Jason Isaacs as the Malfoys, like that's crazy casting.
Mm-hmm. Vernon and the Dudley could have been picked.
A Dementor could have just picked a Dementor.
Get that beast on your team.
Vernon's just like a good dude because like when you hear the documentary, how was like the father on set to Daniel Radcliffe, basically his whole childhood life. It's like just like heartwarming to hear these people all like working together. All the Weasley brothers, George, Fred, and then Percy, I think might be a cousin.
Bro, Domhnall Gleeson played Bill Weasley.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
The bag of Harry Potter casting is just so
it's
deep.
Crazy.
So the draft, George had the first pick, and he went Snape, then Hermione, Sirius Black, Professor McGonagall, Bellatrix Lestrange, Remus Lupin, and Molly Weasley. Myself, I went Voldemort, Ron Weasley, Hagrid, Draco Malfoy, Dobby, Cedric Diggory, and Gilderoy Lockhart. And then Cam went Harry Potter, Albus Dumbledore, Neville Longbottom, Luna Lovegood, Mad-Eye Moody, Ginny Weasley, and Hedwig. These are some good drafts. I low-key think like Cam might have like the best collection of people, if I'm being completely honest. But
hell yeah. Hedwig's pick.
Hedwig's a pull.
Yeah, there's our draft of Harry Potter characters. I didn't exclusively say no Fantastic Beasts characters, but none of them deserve to be drafted anyways.
Any.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would not have drafted any.
Yeah. Is there anything worthwhile from the Fantastic Beasts prequels? Like, is there anything from them that you enjoy?
I hate to admit it. I've only seen the first one. And I just didn't like it, and the reception for 2 and 3 have been so poor that I just like haven't cared. And then wasn't there like so much drama with like the recast of Johnny Depp, and then it's like Mads Mikkelsen, and I don't know. I just
with Mads Mikkelsen though is not a bad.
No. Yeah. I'm not saying I didn't watch it because Mads is a goat. I just like it just seems like there was too much drama and like I don't know. I just didn't care because
also got paid completely for it, so like he won. He got paid for this and didn't have to be in this shit movie. So
true.
Yeah, I love how in the third one they literally just said, let's just start playing the hits. Like in the first 2, they had their own score. They had
they go right back.
Yeah, and then in the third one, they're like, nope, we're going to the just same old Harry Potter music. And then even the story and the narrative just became so much more like Harry Potter as opposed to like trying to build a new world. They're like, screw it. Because Fantastic Beasts, they weren't like, were they like books or were they? I feel like there was something. Were they like actual full novels?
I don't think so.
Fantastic Beasts. I thought it was like a play or something, or I don't know. Maybe I guess Fantastic Beasts 3-book set. Oh wait, no, those are the screenplays. Because I feel like there wasn't 3 books. I'm trying to look up here. So books, we obviously got all the Harry Potter books. No, yeah, like looks like it's just the screenplays you can buy. But I know they're based off something. Hogwarts Library. Yeah, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is, I think, maybe like a short story. It was like a short book.
Isn't that the book in Prisoner of Azkaban with like where you have to like stroke the side? Am I bugging out right now?
What was the question? Sorry.
Isn't like the Fantastic Beasts the book in Prisoner of Azkaban or one of the Harry Potters? He has a book that's like a monster, like chews his like shoes. He has to stroke the side. It's got the teeth.
Like, yes, but he kills that thing.
But that's not like the book. That's not like Fantastic Beasts. Like in that book is like a bunch of beasts.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know the lore well enough to care.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, so the Fantastic Beasts was just one book. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It was only 320 pages, so a short story in Harry Potter terms. And then the 3 movies were spun off that one book. So the two bonus movies are kind of just like attached on. So that's kind of why it makes sense. The third one, they're just kind of like, let's just try something new. Didn't work out. But yeah, there's nothing much there. Like I didn't hate my time with any of them, but there's nothing that I would want to ever revisit. Like I think they're all 2 stars for me. Like not the worst movies I've ever seen, but I have no need to ever rewatch them. Especially now they like aren't doing anything with the franchise or the world of that wizarding world anymore. It's like, what's the point of kind of going back to them?
There's a small chance I finish the trilogy.
The third sucks real bad.
Small chance.
I don't mind the first 2, and the third sucks.
Let's kind of talk about the reboot now, because coming within the next couple of years, we're gonna.
For the second one, I have the lowest, so never mind. I'm an idiot.
I bet in the next year or so, we'll start to see some like maybe director announcements, casting announcements, something, because Harry Potter has been confirmed by Warner Brothers and Max that they're going to be doing a reboot of the franchise. It's going to be a TV series this time. I don't know if they came out and flat out said that it was going to be 1 season per book, but I think everyone's assuming that's going to be 1 season per book.
I think it's supposed to be more faithful to the books as well, rather than like, because 1 season a book. I thought they said that.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right.
Which to Cam's point earlier is awesome, because we're going to get like more battles. We're going to get more like duels that the movies for some reason shied away from.
Yeah, I think we're just getting a lot more character development in general, because there's so many times in the movies where there'd be like a ball or a dance or like little relationships that in the movies I'd be like, oh, we only have 2 hours of runtime here. I don't want to spend 20 minutes on this. Whereas like in a show, you can dedicate an episode. Like I'm guessing it'll be probably like 8 episodes, an hour each or something. 45
After
minutes.
rewatching, I will say none of them are 2 hours. They're all almost 3 hours.
Yeah,
dude, do you know Chamber of Secrets is the longest one?
The longest movie?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I would never have guessed that.
Yeah, it is long though.
I figured it was Half-Blood Prince or Goblet of Fire, but I would have never guessed Chamber of Secrets.
My worry mentioned with the TV show.
Go ahead.
Are we on to like open?
Yep, that's what we're talking
about.
With
the TV show, TV shows do not get pumped out once a year anymore, and these movies got pumped out once a year. With some of them had breaks, like writer's strike in 2008 caused a break, and all that. Like some of them had breaks, but the kids don't look terrible. Especially starting off. I'm worried we'll get a Stranger Things effect with some of them, where they start out 11. It's great. Next season's 3 years later, 14, you can get away with, or 15, 16, wherever they are. And then it's 3 years, and all of a sudden we got 40-year-olds playing 16-year-olds. Like I'm a little worried about the Stranger Things effect, because TV doesn't get pumped out once a year like it used to back in the good old days.
Especially when you consider how much of a production this is probably going to be. Like, these are not going to be year-long productions.
You're not putting $200 million into 8 seasons if you don't get a return on investment in me. Like they need the return on. I'm worried they're going to not get the return on investment and just cut it off. And then we're going to have 1 season of a shit Harry Potter. Like that's just like there. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. I think the Harry Potter franchise, the movies that we've gotten, I don't think are so good that like you can't replicate them. I think where they struck lightning was the cast, and I don't know. That's where like I don't know if you can strike lightning twice.
They will not.
I don't think a single movie was like so crazy good that I'm like they could never do this again.
I agree with that. I think the arc, like the overarching the franchise as a whole, is so good. It's gonna be hard to do that much. I think.
Yeah, the cast is going to determine 99% of their success, and it's tough because people like Ron, Hermione, and Harry were charismatic from the get-go, from the first movie. So you can't really be like, oh, we'll give them time to grow into it. They got to find kids that I don't envy the people trying to put this cast together, because I think that's what it all, like, I'm sure you can make another, like, your score is probably not going to be as iconic as John Williams, obviously, but you're still going to be able to make a magical score.
Are they just going to use the same score? That's another thing. Like that score is Harry Potter right now. Like Tyler said, they just went back to it, play the hits in Fantastic Beasts. Are they going to try to use it again? Like, I don't know.
I think that'd be so. I think it would be so dumb for them to try to replicate the movies. I think they need to do something to like stand out as its own, like, not connected to the movie type franchise, and they cannot go back to the original score. They just can't.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of book lovers, like avid book lovers of the Harry Potter, like aren't the huge biggest fans of the movie. Like, there's a lot of people that, especially Goblet of Fire is like the biggest one that people who love the books hate. So there's definitely a lot there in the books that, if you want to stay faithful to the books, will probably look a lot different than the movies did. But I just don't know. Like, do you start? Is season 1, episode 1? Harry at the Dudley's house, and then Hagrid shows up. Like, how do you even start this franchise? Like, what's season 1, episode 1 look like?
It's an entire flashback of Voldemort slaughtering
Harry's
mom and dad.
Yeah, rather than flashbacks, do we just start with like what they actually were? Like, the first season is like,
no, because the flashbacks
Tom
are what
and
make
Lily
you care about, like, Snape, and like you think he's this horrible, and then he gets the flashback. That you can't start there, and the flashbacks is how you learn about it a little bit more and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know. Do they do the same exact thing where they start with Dumbledore like walking in and
just dropping a child off at a door?
Yeah, exactly. It's just, I don't know. I'm not sure.
The series expected to be airing late 2025, early 2026. So that means
about that. No shot.
We're coming into. I mean, yeah. If they're going to hold on to that, then that means 2024. We're going to be getting casting news left and right. We're going to be getting set pictures. Yeah, I don't know. Like Cam said, like, the aging is such an issue. Like,
the aging's gonna be tough. It's going to be
do you
hard,
try and film these all back to back? Like, do you kind of just feel you kind of have to hire these people? I mean,
that's what they did with like the first 3, right? They filmed them back to back.
Yeah.
Where they still look young. Like, and so you can't do that with it. It takes a year to film a TV series, like for 8 episodes or 6 episodes, whatever it is. It takes a year to do that. And so I don't know, man.
And then you think about the level of CG that they're going to need to put into this fucking production.
I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I'm just saying my biggest worry is the casting.
Right. I mean, Warner Brothers sucks because they're making a lot of stupid financial decisions lately with like shelving stuff. But they're the one I would want handling it. Like, they've done Game of Thrones, House of Dragons. Like, if anyone's going to do it, I would want them to do it over Netflix or Hulu. Like, obviously, I'm going to be like, I'd want this to be an HBO show as opposed to, anything else, like a Peacock original. Like, I think it's in the best hands possible. But like Cam said, I think that also means it's risky. Like, if season 1 flops, they might just shelve it and be like, let's take this tax benefits here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't know. Is there anyone you want for casting? I know stuff like Harry, Hermione, and Ron are going to be people that are too young. And like we
would not know those names.
But like Adam Driver, Snape's a popular one.
That's a good one.
They're gonna get one big casting, I bet, and it's gonna be like fucking who plays Charles Xavier? Give me the name.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, he's gonna be Dumbledore or some shit like that. They're gonna get one big name for Dumbledore or for Snape or someone, but the kids we won't. No.
Right.
Kids won't know.
I feel like like you said, they're gonna try to get one big name. That'll be the first one they announce. Like, they won't announce the first people won't be like, here's Harry, Ron. They'll be like, what the hell are these guys gonna do? They're gonna try and do a Snape, a Voldemort.
Dude, they need multiple big names if they want to like come anywhere close to like the iconic level of the movies with their casting. That casting is so absurd.
It's tough. Like, throwaway is the wrong word, but it's tough because people you cast are gonna have to throw away the rest of their career. Like, they had big name actors in the first one, but they weren't really doing a ton other than Harry Potter, especially if they were a main character.
Yeah.
So it's a tough ask to say, like, Adam Driver, no more doing your indie movies. You're Snape now. Like, it's gonna be a tough swing.
Plays Hagrid.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what liberties they go ahead and change. Like, is someone gonna be completely different? Like, I'm all for like inclusivity, but at the end of the day, like, I feel like Ron has to be a redhead like guy. Like, I feel like it just like has to be.
Yeah.
Also, I love that Ron for the first like 3 movies. I forgot to mention this. the Weasleys are just known as the broke people.
Yeah.
They're always like, oh, hand-me-downs must be a Weasley. Oh, are they the only broke people in this franchise? Like
that is hilarious. They're the only poor person in Hogwarts.
Hand-me-down Weasley. Like, what? Yeah.
Maybe they, you get into like Ivy League colleges because like your parents did. Maybe that's what they did here. Because when I was looking at the Quidditch wiki, like Harry started in the late 1900s, but all through the 1800s, there's Weasleys up and down the Quidditch rosters.
Yeah, right.
So maybe they're just a legacy name that just get in based on name. But there's a poor family. Which if you're a wizard and you're poor, that's a skill issue.
Yeah, that is a skill issue.
It's also they use magic to wash their dishes. They could use magic for so many things. Just make money.
Yeah. Open up a car wash. Open up a
exactly.
Yeah. It's a skill issue or just a laziness issue. And they just live in the middle of the freaking woods and like a farm, but I don't see them growing crops or anything. So weird family. They kind of do. I think they kind of like being the sleeper, the one that no one expects, and they can kind of surprise people. But yeah, the HBO, like, it's probably almost been not quite a year, but it's probably been close to it when they announced, like, when did they announce like Harry Potter reboot coming? Reboot announced.
It was during like their big Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
April 12th, so 7 months ago, to the day, 7 months ago, they officially announced. And we haven't heard anything since. Obviously, we had the writer strike and actor strike, but I don't think that would have probably changed it. Like, even if that didn't happen, I doubt we would have really gotten much more. But I don't know. I'm worried I'm super excited. I think the natural gut reaction everyone has just to immediately be like, no, this sucks. Why are you doing this? Which, like, I get. But I'm a little more hopeful than that. I'm excited for it. I think it could be fun. And yeah, I think like what George said, I just hope it's something new. Like, don't do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you can do the exact same thing and it probably turn out well, but that puts a lot more risk on you to nail everything. You got to get everything right. Whereas if you do something completely fresh and new, you're able to make a little more. I don't know, if you don't get the casting completely right or do something different. I don't know. Every character was so good. Every character is so good. Draco, so good as just a little kid. Hermione, Ron's Harry, chemistry,
Fantastic.
Insane. And I highly recommend everyone listening to this, if you're a fan of Harry Potter, to watch the 20th anniversary Return to Hogwarts, which is on Max, because it's so good. And like, you get to see their lives throughout you start with the Chris Columbus movies as their little kids and how they got cast. The casting for all these were crazy, and it's probably even more crazy this time around. And then you get to see them grow with Alfonso Cuarón. You go into Goblet of Fire, you see them becoming actual like teenagers, having relationships. Hermione has a huge crush on Draco Malfoy's character for basically her entire childhood life. Tom Felton is his name.
Shout out Tom Felton for living in the past his whole career. I was in Harry Potter. Like, he's the one that brings it up. So
he's never left. You know, he has a book called Beyond the Wand.
No.
Yeah.
Just living in it.
That's it. That's all he does. Cameos and books.
On top of that, Tyler, with the 20-year anniversary, they also just had the Boy Who Lived. It was a documentary written by.
Is that out?
I think it's out.
I think it's out. Yeah.
I think it came out like last week or something, or maybe it's not out yet. I haven't watched it. It's about a Harry Potter stunt double who gets paralyzed during the production of this. Sad story. I don't know a whole lot about it. I'll watch the documentary eventually. But I think it's written by Daniel Radcliffe as well as the stunt double. I forget his name. Again, haven't watched it yet, but something to check out if you're a big fan of Harry Potter.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's cool. I saw that was coming out and interested in it for sure. I'm trying to see, because the thing is, like, they haven't really announced a budget, but this is going to have to be Game of Thrones level budget, if not higher, because this is more of a risk than Game of Thrones. It's the biggest risk I think Warner Brothers ever taken. Maybe it's crazy that Warner Brothers is taking the risk of doing a Harry Potter reboot at the same time as doing a full DC Universe reboot. Like, I mean, I get why Zaslav's probably like doing these tax implication stuff, because I don't know, like, he's got to have just high blood pressure all the time. And like, his entire company's success is like up in the air right now, because what else do they really have going for them? Like, House of the Dragon's really good, but it's not getting Game of Thrones numbers. Succession's over, but that was never a big draw. What's like the big
Last of Us?
The Last of Us, yeah. But I mean, as we all kind of know, like, or a lot of people know who like played the games, like a lot of people are probably gonna not like season 2 as much as season 1. So what is the reason people have a Max subscription today? Like, what is the pull?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think there is.
It's had a pull forever. It had Sopranos, which went right into like The Wire, which went right in. You know that we got Game of Thrones, like it's always had like
that was never an HBO Max. I mean, those were HBO subscriptions, I guess, because that's always been a subscription.
Right. I mean, I'm kind of just mean like the HBO brand in general has always had something that draws people in. But right now, I just don't really feel like there is, because even big DC fans, like I don't think anyone's having Max just to rewatch DC movies. And I feel like most people who do have like a favorite movie, like the Batman or the Dark Knight movies, and they kind of have those on DVD or have a different way to watch them. Well, and they're always on other streaming services anyway. So I don't know. It's like right now there's really nothing that's drawing people to Max, and they put all their eggs in one basket by merging with Discovery, and now they have like the Max Discovery Plus merger. I don't know. It's like they really need the Harry Potter and the DC franchise to work, and both of them are going to be coming in 2025, because James Gunn's is July 11th, 2025, and then this is probably going to be late 2025. So huge year.
It's going to be a make or break year for these motherfuckers.
Yeah, next year is going to be a stressful year for them in the boardrooms trying to get all this worked out. But anything else we want to touch on with the Harry Potter franchise? It's definitely, I mean,
real quick, it's David Holmes is his name, the boy who lived, and it releases on the 15th. So not out for us yet, but by the time this releases, it will be. So
which streaming service?
HBO.
Okay, makes sense.
On Max.
Yeah, no, yeah, because it's Harry Potter stunt double who got paralyzed doing a stunt, and they had a very close relationship during obviously the filming, but also after as well. So it should be really interesting to see. Also really interesting, like dealing with fame as a kid like that, because obviously we all know now that like Daniel Radcliffe dealt with alcoholism for like a lot of his life, and I feel like I don't remember. I mean, I was too young. I don't really remember that coming out when he was working, because I don't know. They probably just tried to bury it, but I don't know. I just feel like that's got to be such a messed up show business life where like he was probably just struggling so bad. And I bet so many producers and like people on set knew and noticed, but they're just like, we can't care. Like we need to keep this machine going. Like we can't jeopardize it. And the fact that like now he says he can't even watch some scenes of Harry Potter because he just knows he was blackout drunk and just sloppy. And it's just a dark time in his life. It's just sad to see, but it seems like they're all doing all right now. I mean, it's cool because Ron Weasley, what's his name? His real name?
Rupert Grint.
Rupert Grint. It's cool we saw him in Knock at the Cabin this year. But
Emma Watson hasn't done a movie in like 6 years.
Right. Beauty. She did The Bling Ring with Sofia Coppola. She did
Little Women.
Little Women.
She's done great things, just hasn't done anything since like 2018,
right.
2019.
Well, I think after Harry Potter, she was in a couple of movies, and then I think she just like went to NYU and got a degree or something, and now I think she's doing other stuff. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if she does anything. But like I saw like with Matthew Perry's passing from Friends, we saw a lot of like clips of them at like reunions where like he always kind of seemed like the odd duck out, and I feel like that's the vibe I got about Rupert Grint at the Harry Potter one, and it like just basically sounded like he just like fell off the face of the map, which is something he just focused on a family, which is good. But I don't know, it's like tough like to go from that much fame to being nothing. Like how do you deal with that? But Emma Watson obviously did fine. She became a star. Daniel Radcliffe's starting to be in more movies, but he kind of went away for a while.
He like just popped up. Like he was in The Woman in Black. He was in Now You See Me Too. Mm-hmm. He just kind of like showed up every so often playing like characters like that just you wouldn't expect him to pick up.
Yeah, his Weird Al Yankovic last year.
Yeah, Swiss Army Man.
Yeah, he was in like The Lost City or whatever, which is like a rom-com last year. So he's in a lot of weird stuff, and he's definitely getting more of the acting game. Whereas Cam said Emma Watson kind of quit, but yeah, I don't know how you deal with that kind of fame, and whoever's next is gonna have to deal with that same level of fame. But flip side, they're gonna deal with 20 times more scrutiny than any of the original Harry Potter cast did. So I do not envy the kid right now who's probably right at this very moment a 6-year-old boy has no clue his life's about to change forever in a year, and he's about to become the most talked about, popular, famous kid on the planet, and they're gonna have to deal with that. So best of luck to you, kids.
Some kid eating a bowl of Cheerios watching Teletubbies is gonna have a whirlwind of energy in about 12 months.
Yeah, I wonder if any of the Harry Potter cast or anyone will return to like not be a part of the series, but just to be like, hey, like I can help you through that. Like Daniel Radcliffe, he's got to tell the 6-year-old kid, be like, stay off the booze, bro. Like, just trust me, not the way you want to go here. But anything else we want to say about the Harry Potter franchise? I think everyone has said before, it's one of the most consistent, if not the most consistent franchises out there in terms of something that ran for 8 movies long. Anything else we want to add? Nope.
Vote franchise.
All right. Well, I am Slytherin. George is Gryffindor. Cam is Hufflepuff. Seth is Ravenclaw, and we miss him. But this is our discussion of the Harry Potter franchise. I hope you enjoyed talking about it. And of course, we will be more than covering the reboot when it comes out. We'll probably be doing real quicks on the casting announcements or whatever and breaking it down a ton. And we're all cautiously excited for it, but I'm at least optimistic for what is going to come. Let me pull up executive producers real quick, but let us know in the comments down below which house you got if you did the quiz, and then also who won our draft of best characters, because I think we got a lot of diverse picks there. But shout out to our executive producers: Seven Mod Jeffy, Alexander Biscardi, Ben Hansey, Cody Whitney, Connor Connaughton, Dakota Buckner, Dean Cotamanidis, Dylan Ship, Ferdinando Four, James Magos, Jimmy O'Connor, Jordan Gagg, Josh Hines, Casper Lundberg, Luke Deerhog, Mitchell Glenn, M. Bate, Reese David, Remy Walker, Rocco 1.0, Russell Hone, Robert Leo Slyson, Sean Morales, Stefan Johnson, Will Kim, and Zach Graves. Check out our Patreon, the links down below. And with that, we will see you on Thursday with a draft of 2.5 star movies, the most average movies of our draft. So peace out.